This is a reading of Mouse. Everybody was so hungry, always. We didn't know even what we were doing. In the morning for breakfast, we got only a bitter drink made from roots. I woke before everyone to have time to the toilet and find some tea left. One day they gave a soup from turnips to stand near the first of the line was no good. You only got water. Mix it, mix it. Near the end was better. Solid things to the bottom floated. But too far to the end it was also no good, because many times it could be no soup anymore. And one time each day they gave to us a small bread crunchy like grass. The flour they mixed with sawdust together. We got one little brick of this what had to last the full day. Most gobbled it right away, but always I saved half for later. And in the evening, we got a spoiled cheese or jam, and if we were lucky, a couple of times a week we got a sausage big like two of my fingers. Only this much we got. If you ate how they gave you, it was just enough to die more slowly. Each morning and evening, they made an appel. They counted the live ones and dead ones to see if it wasn't any missing. We stood sometimes the whole night while they counted again and again. On our appels, it was one old guy there. Always he was complaining. I don't belong here with all these Yids and Polacks. I am a German, like you. I have medals from the Kaiser. My son is a German soldier. Only they hit him and they laughed. Was he really a German? Who knows? It was German prisoners also, but for the Germans this guy was Jewish. On one appel, he didn't stand so straight, and a guard dragged him away. I heard he pushed him down and jumped hard on his neck. Or they sent him to the gas. I don't remember, but they finished him and he never any more complained. Tell me about Mom when you were in touch with her. Tell me about Mom. Were you in touch with her in Auschwitz? Yeah. In the beginning, I knew only her number and that she was there in Birkenau. This I found out by workers. From Birkenau, what passed where I was teaching English. Where was Birkenau? The camp was apart from Auschwitz. It was maybe 2 miles to go from Auschwitz to Birkenau. There it was much more big. In Auschwitz we had, say, 20,000 prisoners. In Birkenau was at least 5 times so many. Auschwitz, it was a camp where they gave you to work so they didn't finish you so fast. Birkenau was even more bad. It had 800 people in a building made for 50 horses. There it was just a death place with Jews waiting for gas, and there it was, Anya. Each day I marched to work and hoped again I will see Mancy. She could have more news of Anya. I read about the camp orchestra that played as you marched out the gate. An orchestra? No, I remember only marching, not any orchestras. From the gate, the guards took us over to workshop. How could it be there an orchestra? I don't know, but it's very well documented. No, at the gate I heard only guards shouting. Did you ever talk with any of the guards? Ach, we were below their dignity. Not even men, but it was one guy. If he spoke, of course, I answered. He even a little heart. Ah, guten Morgen. This spring air reminds me of home of Nuremberg. Yes, I was there once. It's a beautiful city. And if he liked me, maybe someday he won't shoot me. One time he was missing a few days. You look pale. Were you sick, Soldret? No, I was working in Birkenau. Yes, I've heard about what goes on there. Shut up. And he was afraid any more to speak. When I visited Anya there, I saw with my own eyes how it was. You saw Anya? Yeah, every few days it came an SS commission to the tin shop. You have more workers than you need here. Give us 10 prisoners to take back to the main camp for another work. We'll take that one and that one. And wait, don't take him. He's one of the best roofers. Take that one and that one. The unlucky ones went over for bad jobs, but me, Yiddle, kept protected. Send a crew to Sector BIB in Birkenau. Some of the roofs in the women's camp have collapsed. Let me go to Birkenau. I've never seen it. Go, Spiegelman, and don't come back for all I care. Bah, I give you my best tinmen, and you I save. Why? So I marched with a few tinmen over to Birkenau. I came the first time in summer 1944. Thousands and hundreds of thousands of Hungarians were arriving there at this time. Please pause the video and switch groups, jobs, one to the right, please. Inside the camp, we called out. Maybe somebody knew if our loved ones are here alive. Eva Goldberg from Lodz. Anya Sleegberberg from Solvignich. My God, that's Vladik. I'll go find Anya. I was so happy. Someone brought somehow Anya over. Don't look up, darling. A guard may spot us. She looked so like a skeleton. Did Mancy bring you my letters? Yes, and when she can, she gets me jobs in the kitchen. My friends wait outside and I bring them scraps. No, save your scraps. What if you lose that job? What if something happened to Mancy? Don't worry about my friends. Believe me, they don't worry about you. They just worry about getting a bigger share of your food. But my friends are always hungry, and I don't have much of an appetite. I beg you, Anna, keep yourself strong for my sake. Just seeing you again gives me strength. I have to go before anyone notices I'm missing. I think about you always. I was a few times in Birkenau, and once I had really troubles. I was going from work and passed by Anya. Vladik. Anya, darling, did you get the food I sent you? Yes, you always arrange miracles. I think about you always. We spoke a minute only, and I went on my way. A guard screamed to me, Halt! Who are you talking to? Nobody. A stranger asked if I knew her brothers in Auschwitz. I didn't know if anything, so I hardly answered. Get inside. When I'm finished with you, you'll know something, Jewish pimp. You're not here to flirt and gossip. Count the blows. If you lose count, I'll start again. Eins, zwei, drei. So he beat me. What can I tell you? Only thank God Anya didn't get also such a beating. She wouldn't live. The next day was hard to go to work, but to go to the hospital I could easily not come again out. It wasn't a place with medicine, only a place full with prisoners too sick to go to work. Each day it was skeletons. The doctors chose out the weaker ones to go and die. In the other camp with skeletons, I went 2 times in front of Dr. Menji. He stood without anything, straight like a soldier. He glanced and said, face left. They looked to see if it was sores or pimples on the body. Then again, face left. They looked to see if eating no food made you too skinny. Face left. If you still had a healthy body to work, they passed you through and gave you another uniform until it came to the next skeleton. When first I came, I was very strong, then, and came well to the good side. The ones that had not so lucky, the SS wrote down their number and sent to the other side. The second skeleton I was in the barrack in the bed up from me was a fine boy, a Belgian. I dreamed my wife was alive. She was cooking a giant roast with thick gravy and fried... Stop, Felix. Don't think about food. We were expecting dinner, guests. We waited, and then the gong rang. I woke up without even tasting the... Blocksphere. A Blocksphere. This meant you must not step out from the room. They took then the Jews to a skeleton. I came again to the good side, but this Belgian, he had maybe a rash, and they wrote his number. Any time they could take him, all night he cried and screamed. Ow! Here, Felix, have a piece of bread. Sob. Look, they're going to kill all of us here, eventually, so you this week, me next. None of us can escape it. You must be brave, and who knows, maybe it's not even your turn yet. So he calmed a little. But later, he again started. Oh! What could I do? I couldn't tell to the Germans they wouldn't take him, and the next day they took. So in the tin shop I still had the same story with Yiddle. Only 1 apple for me today? Is business bad, Mr. Capitalist? What happened to the shoemaker who worked in there? A lot of the Polish prisoners were sent to the camps inside the Reich. They took some of my boys too. I ran to the capo in charge from all the shop. Do you need a new shoemaker? Sure, the SS took the old one away, but they're still bringing shoes in. You know, I've been a shoemaker since childhood. You don't look like a shoemaker to me. You're a tin man. Do I have to have it written on my forehead? All right, then fix this. I had learned a little shoemaking watching how they worked when I was with my cousin Milik there in the ghetto shoe shop. To fix such an open-ended sole, I knew to take a double-threaded smear with wax. Make then a hole and push the thread halfway only. Then on the upper part, put 2 holes even to the sole. Bring the thread then through these holes. Cross the thread from the top and bottom, both ends through a new hole in the sole, and repeat so until the shoe is closed. And so it is made. When you can't even see it has stitches. You're better than our last shoemaker. You see, it's good to know how to do everything. Please pause and rotate one to the right in your group. So now I was a shoemaker. I had here a warm and private room where to sit. I knew you were an expert tinman, but I never knew you had so many other talents. And here I didn't have any more to worry with, yet'll give me out. Officials liked better if I fixed their shoes than sent to the big shop inside camp. This is a new boot. I don't want your repair to show. It's a bad rip. I'll do my best. If it doesn't look brand new by tomorrow, you won't be here anymore. Understand me? I knew how to fix soles and heels, but this Gestapo wanted it and needed a specialist. So going from work, I hid this boot to sneak it to a real shoemaker in Auschwitz. Can you fix this? I'll give you a day's ration of bread. For a day's ration of bread, I can fix anything. I watched carefully how he did, so next time I can save myself such bread. Next day I had the boot ready for this Gestapo. He left the boot and went without one word, and he came back with a whole sausage. You did a good job. You know what this was? A whole sausage? You can't imagine. I cut with a shoe knife and ate so fast I was a little sick after. I couldn't anymore make a business smuggling with Polish workers from here as a shoemaker, but still I was well off. The Gestapo, what I fixed his boot, recommended me, so his friends all wanted little fix also their shoes and paid me food. I shared sometimes to the capo in charge. I just organized some eggs. Want some? What a friendly Jew. Sure, we can cook them on my heater. If you want to live, it's good to be friendly. And here's a little bread for our meal. Great. Say, what are all those new buildings they're putting up there? Just some new workshops. They're expanding the Union work munitions factory. And they're putting up some barracks to move some women workers from Birkenau over here. My wife is in Birkenau. Maybe I could get her into one of those barracks. It's impossible. It cost you a fortune in bribes. He unwrapped some cheese and ate a piece himself. Please, could I have a piece of paper? Well, sure, I can let you have the paper, but not the cheese. I needed to write over to Anya. Even paper was hard to have there. My friends came always to me when they needed. If I found and saved for the toilet, most used a piece from their clothes or their hand. Why didn't other people save paper? You know how most people are. So I wrote over to Anya that now I am a shoemaker and I have heard here about these new barracks. And Mancy took it. She was so good, always she took. On the back from my letter, Anya wrote how much she wanted only to come to such a barrack near me. Anya's barrack was maybe 1,000 girls with a bad capo, what hit anybody what came near. Sneak, I saw you take a second piece of bread. No, She had leather boots, not wood. They were in very bad shape, but really leather. Nice boots. It's a pity the soles are coming apart. So what do you care? You could send them to my husband. He's a shoemaker in Auschwitz. Oh, really? So she arranged the boots over to me. Of course, I fixed very nice the shoes, and the capo then was very different with Anya. The soup can is too heavy for you. Come and rest in my room until the appel. Very different. I thought only how happy it would be to have Anya so near to me in these new barracks. It could be arranged for 100 cigarettes and a bottle of vodka, but this was a fortune. 1 day's bread equals 3 cigarettes, 200 cigarettes equals 1 bottle of vodka. How could you get cigarettes? Each week to the workers they gave us 3. They issued a luxury like that? Yeah, and if you don't smoke, you can exchange for bread. I starved a little to pay to bring Anya over. All what I organized I kept in a box under my mattress. But when I came back one time from work, it's gone. I'm telling you, I wanted to cry. You left the box in the barracks. How could it not be taken? I didn't think on it. But everyone was starving to death. Sigh, I guess I just don't understand. Yes, about Auschwitz, nobody can understand. So I saved a second time a fortune and gave over bribes to bring Anya closer to me. And in the start of October 1944, I saw a few thousand women in these new barracks. And with them was Anya. This I arranged. It was the only time I was happy in Auschwitz. When nobody saw, I went back and forth until I saw her from far going to make munitions. She also went back and forth until it was safe to approach over to my food packages. But one time it was very bad. Hey you, stop. Drop that package and stop right there. Stop. She ran. She didn't know where, into her own block. Only a friend from Anya was there as a room cleaner. Hide me quick, Anya, quick. Get under one of the blankets. I know you're in here someplace, and when I find you, I'll kill you right here on the spot. It was several rooms there and hundreds of beds. I'm in one. Anya lay shaking, afraid to breathe even. Please pause and rotate one to the right. I'll kill you, kill you. For maybe an hour, like crazy, she ran from room to room, throwing upside down the beds. Bah, get all the beds in order before the appel. Okay, Anya, it's safe to come out now. But this wasn't over yet. On the evening appel, she came again, this capo. The prisoner I chased this afternoon will now step forward. But Mother didn't step out. It will be better for you if you step out than if I find you. She came back and forth, looking in each face, but with the stripes everyone looked all the same. If you know who she is, push her forward or you'll all suffer. She made them to run, to jump, to bend until they couldn't any more, then more the same. For a few appels it went so, but nobody of Anya's friends gave her out. You can imagine what she went through. I had to stop sending over such packages to Anya. I lost anyway my job near to her soon after. My whole workshop they closed out. They put us back to the main camp and took me for black work. Black work? Carrying back and forth big stones, digging out holes, each day different but always the same and very hard. And God forbid if you stopped only a minute to breathe. You got a hit to the head or worse. To me they never hit because I worked all my muscles away. I liked better indoor work. I sometimes was a Butenantziner, a bed after puller. After everybody fixed their bed, we came to fix better, or the straw looked square. What a crazy job. No, they wanted everything neat and in good order. But these days I got too skinny and it came again a skeleton. Blockschmier. Now it could be my turn. Right away, I ran inside the toilets. If someone looked, I'd tell I had a bad stomach, what I had to lose. Nobody looked, so I sat lucky the whole skeleton. I came to one of the 4 Cremo buildings. It looked so like a big bakery. From below ground in the gas room, we tin men had to take out the pipes and fans for ventilating. This was a factory to make 1, 2, 3 ashes and smoke from all came here. Underground dressing room, underground gas chamber, ovens. Special prisoners worked here separate. They got better bread, but each few months they were also sent up the chimney. From them showed me everything how it was. People believed really it was here a place for showers, so they were told. They came to a big room to undress their clothes. What looked so, yes, here is a place so like they say. If I saw a couple of months before how it was all arranged here, only one time I could see it. And everybody crowded inside into the shower room, and the door closed hermetic and the lights turned dark. Zyklon B, a pesticide, dropped into hollow columns. It was between 3 and 30 minutes, it depended on how much gas they put, but soon was nobody any more alive. The biggest pile of bodies lay right next to the door where they tried to get out. The guy who worked there, he told me, we pulled the bodies apart with hooks, big piles, with the strongest on top, older ones, and babies crushed below. Often skulls were smashed. Their fingers were broken from trying to climb up the walls, and sometimes their arms were as long as their bodies pulled from the socket. Enough. I don't want to hear it. I didn't want more to hear, but anyway, he told me. They pulled the bodies with an elevator up to the ovens, many ovens, and to each one they burned up to 2 or 3 at a time. To such a place finished my father, my sisters, my brother, so many. What are they doing over there, digging trenches in case the Russians attack? Trenches, ha, those are giant graves they're filling in. It started in May and went all summer. They brought Jews from Hungary, too many for their ovens, so they dug those big cremation pits. The holes were big, so like the swimming pool on the Pines Hotel here, and train after train of Hungarians came. And those what finished in the gas chambers before they got pushed in the graves, it was the lucky ones. The others had to jump in the graves while they were still alive. Prisoners what worked there poured gasoline over the live ones and the dead ones, and then the fat from the burning bodies they scooped and poured again so everyone could burn better. That finishes the reading.